And please welcome to the stage the moderator for this session, Oriol Juncosa from White Peak Partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. Please give them a round of applause. Awesome.
Just a few minutes. We're just getting lined up. Yeah, please come over. Great. So I'm very excited today to have here a wide representation of the best of the, I would call, alternative funding for startups. Okay.
Oh yes.
We have in our panel we have seed funds, we have crowdfunding platforms. We have also banks doing seed funding, venture debt, and traditional lending. Let's see. We'll get up to speed just in a second. So okay. So just. Sí.
Okay.
We're missing.
Oh,
I think we're missing. I think we're missing a chair.
oh. We need one more chair. Really?
Don't worry.
We need one more speaker. Oh no, a chair is coming. A chair is coming. Okay. See, it's the staff here, working very closely together to deal with these unexpected situations. And we have our emergency chair has been liberated from its place in the speakers lounge. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, we like to improvise just to keep everyone on their toes.
Excellent. So guys, as we were saying, I'm super excited to have. I mean, my name is Oriol Juncosa. I run a small seed fund called Encomenda. We have 24 million, and also an advisory boutique called White Peak Partners. And I'm super excited to have here today. Starting here, we have Santiago Reina from a significant, I would say, super angel fund, seed fund. Then we have Pepe Borrell from Crowdcube, one of the leading crowdfunding platforms in Europe. Then we have Jose Corol from Banco Sabadell that will tell us about seed funding, venture debt, banking debt. Then we have Carlos Silva from Cedars, also another leading crowdfunding platform in Europe. And we have Karel Escobar from Startup Explorer, one of the leading crowdfunding platforms in Spain. And we are a crowd, okay? So, and you're also a crowd, so I'm very happy with that. So please, why don't you guys introduce just 1 minute yourselves, okay? And particularly saying, I mean, where do you focus your investments? Okay, at what stage do you enter into companies? What's your traditional ticket size for the entrepreneurs that here are listening to us? Okay, yes, please, start, Santi.
Okay. Well, our funds, we invest in seed investments from companies. We love companies from 1 million till 3 million company value. We invest from 50K till $500,000 by milestones during the life of the company in the 3, 4, 5 years that we need to invest. We continue investing in Series A also.
Excellent. Please, yeah. Pepe.
So, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. So, my name is Pepe Borrell. I'm the director for Crowdcube in South Europe. Crowdcube is a UK equity crowdfunding platform based in London. We started in 2011. We started operating in Spain in 2014. And since then, we've raised more than 300 million euros for around 700 companies, most of them startups, especially at the beginning. The average raise was around 200,000 euros. Now average raise are around 700, 800,000 euros. So we work for companies, with companies that raise between 100,000 euros to 8 million euros. which is the cap and the maximum we can raise for private companies in our marketplace.
Hi, good morning to everyone. My name is Jose Carol. I think, now the audio is, good morning, I start again. My name is Jose Carol, I'm a B Startup 10 director. And well, I work at Banco Sabadell, and as a bank we have like 3 different things that we, for financing startup. The first one is financial banking loans that we have give from the 1st of January 2014 up to date. We have financed 175 million euros, which is a large amount of money. Then we have like 3 different investment vehicles. The first one, B Startup 10. We invest in seed stage, 100K per company on technological and digital-based company. Then we have 2 other different vehicles, Sabadell Venture Capital, which invests from 200 or 300K up to 2 million per company on different rounds. And InnoShares, which is the core banking or the corporate branch that invest on strategic startups and invest from more or less from 500K up to 3 million. So we have like a large amount of different vehicles to invest, and the whole bank has invested in 64 companies up to date since 2014, so in 4 years.
Excellent. Please, Carlos.
Hi, I'm Carlos Silva. I'm one of the co-founders of Seeders. It's a real pleasure to be back at the South Summit. I've been coming to the South Summit for a number of years here now, and I've been very lucky to see it grow from a few hundred people to the massive event that it is nowadays. So congrats to the organization. Seeders is the leading equity crowdfunding platform in Europe. We started in the UK, we're now operating Europe-wide, but we have investors from all over the globe. Up till now, a little bit over 450 million have been invested through the platform in almost 700 companies, companies that are based anywhere in Europe. Our average ticket size is around 300, 400K, but we have companies raising from us from 100K to, as Pepe was saying, all the way up to around 8 million. In different stages, from seed stage, early stage, Series A. We can do all of that, and we end up co-investing a lot along more traditional VCs and business angels.
Excellent. Please, Karel.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. It's also a pleasure to be here. I think it's my 5th time here at South Summit. I came as a student, attendee, accelerator manager, and now as an investor. Let's see how I will come next year. Basically, Start Explore is a equity crowdfunding platform here based in Spain. We launched 21 opportunities and closed 20 in the last 2 years, more or less 5 million managed under our platform. And we invest basically just in startups, in companies with high potential growth and also very high potential technological component. We invest in early stage. Our tickets range from 200K to $500,000. But we also are developing a line more agile to try to launch more opportunities in the pre-seed or seed stage for startups looking for 100,000 euros to be managed in our platform, so we can launch those opportunities quickly.
Excellent. So we also want to know the winners, okay? How have they done, the companies that they have backed? So please tell us the best company or the 2 best companies that you guys have backed, and how they have fared and how they have evolved after your backing, please.
Okay, well, one of our first investment was a biotech company that we invested 200Ks, and we sold it last year and we did 11x.
11x.
So it was a fantastic deal for us, and it has been a very strange. Well, we noticed that the personal relation with the team is the key in the earlier stage moments. Okay, because for example, we didn't have any shareholders agreement, for example, because we had just the confidence with the team. Nowadays, I will never do that again.
Okay,
for sure.
Shareholders agreement always.
And the second company is another company from our portfolio. We invested in the first round. The company's name is Nextail. We invested in the company 3 million value. And last May we closed the third round. Well, invested Nauta in the second round, and in the third round we have closed a $10 million Series A with other international funds, and the company values now with a post-money of 30 million.
Excellent. From your side, Pepe.
Yeah.
Best company.
Best company. So it's difficult to say. We've funded a lot of
Found
them.
one.
Yeah.
Come on.
So yeah, you have to think 90% of our portfolio is UK companies. The other 10% is Europe, especially in Spain. If I have to highlight one from UK, for example, would be Revolut, a fintech company, a neobank that raised on Crowdcube £1 million 2 years ago, and investors could sell their shares recently after 2 years, and multiplying their shares value for 20 times or 19 times. So that's a pretty decent exit and return. That's what keep us moving as well, because we need confidence from investors as well to keep moving on. Actually, recently we also funded a fintech company in Spain called Zang. It's a peer-to-peer platform, crowd lending platform. They got acquired by Fintonic, fintech also in Spain, and investors got a good return as well. But we also like those that are not exited yet. So they are still growing, and we think the winner will come. There will be many winners in the future,
Excellent.
I think.
Yourself, Jose.
From this startup, I think that the best company that we have found is Redpoints. Redpoints is a SaaS solution for fighting against piracy. We invest 100K in 2014, more or less, and I think in September 2017, so more or less 1 year ago, they raised 24 million. And the investors of the round were Norzone, Mangrove, and 8 Roads, which is the Fidelity VC part. So it's a Series B, one of the, I don't know, maybe the top 5 in Barcelona for 2017. So we are really proud of Ratepoints, because we invest in Ratepoint, which was really one guy explaining what idea with 5 clients, and it's going really, really good. So it's our best investment up to date.
Carlos, what's your best one?
Very difficult to pick one among the almost 500 companies. Some of the best companies that we've invested in, from my perspective, are some companies that you probably never heard of, because we invest sometimes at very early stage and we get along very well with the founders and we end up knowing them and we know that they're really good, but they're still not super mainstream yet. But some of the best known companies, one is Revolut, that Crowdcube also invested. We entered the Crowdcube deal as part of their 60 million raise. Seeders participated with about 5 million. And I would say another one that I would highlight is Seeders itself. So Seeders raised a number of rounds on our own platform. All of those rounds have been oversubscribed, and our investors got to invest alongside some of the top VCs in fintech. So those would be some of the companies that I would highlight.
Excellent. Karel.
So we have been working with this model for 2 years, so we don't have any exit yet. But I think I want to mention 2 opportunities that we launched. The first one is Naflandis, and we really like them because it's a different kind of company that approach us doing crowdfunding. They do a container ship that close themselves when they're empty, so their space that they fill it up in the boat is way lower. And that shows that people are willing to invest in deep tech, in another kind of company, just digital technological companies. And the second one is Triporate. They are growing very, very fast, getting a lot of customers almost every day. And we launched this opportunity in the middle of the summer. For those of you that don't know, the August in Spain is almost closed everything, and we launched in the middle of August, and we closed the operation in just 1 hour. So that shows that the power of the crowd when you show them good opportunities.
Excellent. Hey, just a quick question to the audience. Okay, who are entrepreneurs? Nice, please pay attention, pay attention. There could be your next round here. Who are investors?
They never say it.
They never say, they keep hiding. Okay, who are corporates? Executives? Wannabe entrepreneurs? Okay, that's good. Perfect. So for those of you that sort of kind of
are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs, the traditional way of fundraising, okay, was first you ask your family, your friends, and the fools around you to give you a few thousands. Then you go to business angels. Then you go to seed funds. Then you go to bigger funds, and everything sort of is comprised of people that invest equity and so forth, and single people with, I would say, condensed cap tables. You don't have many investors. But here, what we see is that this traditional model is changing. The reason why I ask you what are the best companies, okay, is particularly in the crowdfunding space, you see that people are combining different types of investment, okay? So then, what I wanted to do is, from your side, to understand how do you guys work with other, I would say, asset classes, meaning you invest early as a super angel or seed fund. How do you work with your Series A or with crowdfundings? Have you, or with venture debt? Have you done that in the past? And from your perspective, guys, I mean, when an entrepreneur comes to you and they ask you for a crowdfunding campaign, can they aspire to more later on, like sort of to more traditional VC funds? Okay, so how working together is, how do you promote, or how does it happen to work together with other people? If you can tell us from your side.
From my side, for example, first of all, if entrepreneurs send you your deck, his deck, the most important issue is that he knows to whom he's sending the deck, which kind of fund he's contacting. If it's a business angel, or it's a VC, or it's a crowdfunding, and he has to know what kind of money he wants to ask for. For me, the main deal with an entrepreneur is that he knows this business. That if we start to talk about a convertible note or a crowdfunding or a venture debt, he knows about what we are speaking. And for us, this is a very important asset with the entrepreneur, because we want people who knows all the value chain. That we need people who knows that there will be a Series A, a Series B, a Series C, or whatever, but he knows to know everything of this business, because if not, he will ask you, what is a Series A? What is the drag along? What is a convertible note? And we can't be teaching in this area. We want people that know everything.
Okay. What's your way on working with other people that you have here on the table or on larger funds?
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of things that are critical for our daily work with the startups. So maybe from the three of us, from crowdfunding platforms, we challenged a lot of issues in the past. At the beginning, when we started in 2011, 2012, crowdfunding was really small. We didn't have many investors on our platform. And the first companies that came to our platforms to raise money were true leaders, I could say, true heroes, because they were trying to do something pretty new. At the moment, what we do is we do have solutions to work with VCs, corporate investors, or business angels, etc. But we need to adapt ourselves to these markets as well, because nowadays, for example, at Crowdcube, 6 of every 10 companies are companies that have money from VCs or lead investors already in the platform. So the crowd is co-investing with corporate and venture capitalists. That this didn't happen in the past. So the first companies that came to us that were really top-tier companies, really high-potential growth companies, they didn't really want the money. What they wanted to give the opportunity to normal people, to the crowd, to invest and to share their success in the future. And at the moment, what we are really focused on is to give value to both companies and to investors by giving a platform when they can manage their all the shareholders, the cap table, or to the investors so they can manage their portfolio, then they can multi-diversify in a lot of companies, seed stage, early stage, growth stage, and then maybe co-investing with venture capitalists, etc. But we try to adapt ourselves and our work, our term sheet, our valuations to the lead investors in many times. And this is increasingly happening at the moment in equity crowdfunding.
From from our perspective, I think that also I agree with Pepe that things have changed quite a lot. Before, equity crowdfunding was what Pepe says, and I think that nowadays has changed a lot. For instance, for our point of view, in B Startup 10 we have companies that were first financed by, for instance, by equity crowdfunding, like CryptCube that we made, for instance, Mi Cuento.
Mi Cuento.
Then we have companies that we co-invest with the equity crowdfunding platform, and then we also have a third thing of company that it's a company that we invest first, and then on the second round, after, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, they went invested by equity crowdfunding. So the thing is that tickets of equity crowdfunding can be financed by 200K up to 8 million, as Pepe said before, but 8 is maybe quite a lot, but you can raise 500K, 600K, 700K, and this is a pre-Series A that can be closed for a equity crowdfunding platform.
And now that you have taken sort of the stage, how about venture debt featuring in the mix? Okay, who knows what is venture debt? Anyone? Okay. So not many people. Please tell us very succinctly where it is and how it complements things that we're saying here.
First of all, I want to explain that I'm not the guy that is running the,
I know.
the venture debt part. So this is first of all. But what is venture debt? Venture debt is not really common in Spain. As you know, just 2 people raised the hand, so it's not really common in Spain. And I think that we are just 2 companies that have a venture debt fund, which is Banco Sabadell and Inverready. Vale? What is venture debt? Venture debt is like kind of hybrid between debt and equity. You give X amount of money, for instance, 1 million to a company, and then you have an equity kicker. What is an equity kicker? For this 1 million, we win X% rate, like a loan, normal loan, and then we have an equity kicker, which is more or less between 20 and 25%, which this amount of money became equity. So it's like a mix. But the thing is that venture debt, it's a good sort of financing for companies that has revenues. Because what you study here, for instance, when you are doing like normal investment, what you see it's the upside of tomorrow, 5 years or whatever, the company, what is going to be and who is going to buy it and which amount of money are you going to came back. When you're analyzing a venture debt operation is different. What you want to see is the revenues of the company and just to see if this company can give you back the debt that you are doing. So I think it's a good way to finance companies, but they have to be companies, maybe Series A companies and companies that has current revenues.
Okay, that's a good question. Who of the entrepreneurs here have revenues? Who of the entrepreneurs do not have revenue yet? Okay. So, who of you guys would fund non-revenue companies? I would fund non-revenue companies. Oh, wow, Carol is undecided. Okay, that's good. So, so please, I mean, how do you, Carlos, from your side, you work with sort of the other asset classes, with VCs, with business angels, and so forth?
That's very interesting because one of the questions that I get asked the most is, as an entrepreneur, should I raise money from a VC, a business angel, or should I go to an equity crowdfunding platform? And in reality, I think that's the wrong question to ask because at the end of the day, what you have to ask yourself is what can I take, what do I get from these different sources of finance, and then how am I going to mix them together into one round? Because that's what happens most of the cases, and it's happening more and more. So most of our rounds are in co-investment with either VCs or angels, and sometimes we lead, sometimes they lead and we take their term sheet. But it's becoming very, very common. It's funny because we're talking about alternative sources of finance, and nowadays Seedrs is the most active investor in early stage companies in the UK. So we do more deals than anyone else. So as an alternative source of finance, that's pretty mainstream. And as I said, most of these investments are being done alongside VCs. We invest with Atomico, with Index, with Benchmark Capital, with Seedcamp, with all of the main VCs. And I think the relationship has became more and more cooperative. because we aggregate all of those small investors into our vehicle, from the deal's point of view, we act as just another VC. Same kind of terms, one person signing the term sheet, one person acting on behalf of all the investors. So it's not that different from having just another VC on your cap table, but it is a VC that what they can bring to the table complements what a more traditional VC gives you. So a more traditional VC will probably sit on the board, will provide more one-to-one advice, will help with strategy, with hiring. What Seedrs can provide you is a significant fund base that is very connected to your company because they have a stake in your company, clients that are better connected to your company, the PR, but then also all the tools that at scale will help you find the next investors and jump to the next stage. So both of these worlds end up complementing each other very well. And you as an entrepreneur just have to find out what you want out of each one of these and then mix them together into the same round.
Yeah, for us it's key because in every operation that we launch, we always co-invest with a lead investor, and the lead investor, you can see who it is, how much they are willing to put in exchange or weight percent, and all the minority investors invest in the same conditions as the lead investor. So all the 21 operations, we always co-invest with the lead investor that is willing to put at least 10% of the whole financing round. And that is one key thing that we have. So we are always in conversation with business angels, venture funds, angel funds, and so on. We are always in conversation with them, exchanging deal flow and see which operation can leverage on the equity crowdfunding. So for us, that is very, very important to be in conversations with them, to get to know which startups interest those business angels, and try to get a mix about the startup, the lead investor, and the minority investor. Because at the end, the minority investor will syndicate and let all the legal issues and the economic rights of the startup subrogate into the lead investor, into the term sheet that is signed by the lead investor. We review this term sheet, and at the end of the day, I think it's our main bottleneck to review all the term sheet and be sure that all the clauses are there, that neither the term sheet is highly favorable for the startup or the business angel, and try to get a mix where all the three parties, the startup, the lead investor, and the minority investor that will invest in the company through Startup Explore, are aligned, and they all will benefit from the potential success of the company, that no one will be left behind in case of an exit.
Okay. So I wanted to say that what we think we have a qualified deal flow. Okay, so our portfolio companies, what I try to do is to move our portfolio companies to bigger funds. So, and the bigger funds, they know that they have good deals and good projects. And this is our main value: help the companies to grow in the next steps in the next round, because we receive all type of deal flow, and the best deal flow is the qualified deal flow.
Excellent. So, guys, in terms of how many startups here are B2B? So, startups selling to other startups? Sorry, startups selling to businesses? How many? Okay. How many are B2C? Okay, that's a good mix. So, some people were saying about crowdfunding that is more sort of akin towards a B2C environment. Is that real or not?
Well, in fact, crowdfunding was born because we wanted to give access to people, to retail people who are the consumers. So it's normal that a lot of companies we funded are B2C, product, retail, etc. But as the database of investors is growing and it's more sophisticated, because now there are angel investing, institutional investors using platforms for investing, you can also fund companies, B2B companies, and high technology companies. We recently funded a company it's called NanoSense. It's nanotechnology, which is very complicated to understand the real value of nanotechnology for devices. But they raised 1 million euros from 900 investors. So that shows, and some of the investors were big angels, so that shows that they understand that we give them a qualified deal flow, but they also like to see another kind of businesses like beers, breweries, consumer goods, food, retail, etc., because they want also to diversify, to be able to have a huge portfolio of companies and pick those ones they are more sensitive.
Please, Carol.
Yeah, it's true that B2C startups see the crowdfunding campaign not just as a funding alternative, but as a marketing tool, because at the end you get exposure to a lot of people and get to know to a big audience. But also what we are doing is two things. We see that we analyze our database and saw that there are a lot of executives for big corporations over there. So we have seen that people invest their money and help the startup to either open new markets or present to new clients, or at the end it's people that invest in your company 2,000 euros, 4,000 euros, 10,000 euros, and then they are willing to open up your contact list to the startup, which is a very, very positive thing. Indeed, one of our startups opened up a new market thanks to this one of these minority investors that are investing in Startup Explore.
Excellent. And Jose and Santi, I mean, from your view, Spain used to be a company of successes only on the B2C side. Okay, how do you see that area, B2C versus B2B? Are you guys also funding a significant amount of B2B those days?
I think actually our portfolio, maybe it's roughly 50% or maybe we have, I don't know because I don't know exactly the number, but I think maybe 50-50 or maybe a bit more B2C company, B2B companies than B2C ones. The thing is that normally the B2B company has the revenue model or the business model of a B2B company, it's always clear. You don't have companies that, for instance, like, I don't know, Wallapop, which when Wallapop started, there was no business model because maybe some B2C companies are companies that are based on users, on creating value over these users, and then companies that, or maybe getting some monetizing strategy, or maybe being sold to whatever. And normally we invest more in companies that not this kind of business model, we prefer the other one. Or B2C companies, but with a revenue model, or the B2B one. So.
Okay. From your side?
From my side, I prefer absolutely B2B companies. We have invested in some B2C companies, but I think it's a US model, and it's capital intensive. In the B2B model, the revenues are clear. How you have to grow, it's clear. And also, I think it's the investors in Europe, they love most the B2B business.
And from your side, Carlos, I mean, you're the largest investor in the UK, so what do you see from there?
So actually, I think that there's a misconception that equity crowdfunding is only good for B2C companies. So from our perspective, so one of the reasons why we started operating was to bring more transparency to the industry as a whole. And we've just released the update of our portfolio report, where you can see like results of the portfolio, results on the investments, and you can also see what sectors we invest in and what kind of companies we invest in. And if you look there on the percentage of B2C companies versus percentage of B2B companies that have raised through our platform, and the percentage is more or less the same. So there's not a significant tendency towards B2C companies. And I think the reason for that is, for a B2C company, it's obvious what's the advantage of raising through equity crowdfunding, and you're selling to your clients in a way. But for a B2B company, I mean, most of our investors, they may not be professional investors, but they are experts in industries and sectors that they work at. So they understand the value of those companies that sell to that specific sector, to that specific industry, and they can evaluate that, and if it is a good business, they will still invest. So I don't think there's a clear advantage for a B2C or a B2B company. Okay. They can both take different things from an equity crowdfunding platform.
Okay. So now imagine maybe a situation in which a few of you you started your company less than 12 months ago. What's the situation? Anyone starting the company less than 12 months ago? Okay, that we have some crowd there. Okay, so you started the company less than 12 months ago. You have not even 15K of revenue per month. Okay, you're B2C. You've got some money from your family and from a few of the neighbors. Okay, but now you want to go bigger. You want to have 300K. Okay, from someone. Okay, so how and when should they approach you? Actually, it is the right company for you or not. Okay, they have very little revenue. Okay, and how should they approach you? What should they tell you to open your arms to them? Okay, so please.
Arms or wallet?
Open your wallet. No, yeah, the wallet, but I was saying your arms. It's better. It's more friendly. Okay.
Okay, we prefer.
And what would you ask from them?
Okay, first of all, what we will ask from them is that if they are developing a company in a sector that they have the experience. We like the people who is creating the company, they don't have the great idea, new idea, and then he's a consultant from a company and he has a great idea with something B2C business that hasn't nothing to do with what he has been doing during all his life. We prefer people focus in what he has been doing, who wants to develop something related with his working career. For us, this is crucial in this moment, more than the revenues or whatever they are doing.
And what are you going to ask from them when they come over? I mean, be specific. Sort of, hey, I want to see a 5-year business plan with 10 megabytes and a 50-page PowerPoint, or
how much money are you raising? Which are your milestones for the next 6 months? And if you need to raise more money later, and which going to be the value of your company in 6 months. It's like a race. You will ask for money, and you need to get the milestones. If
Okay.
not,
that's right.
So I think there is, maybe I'm gonna risk a bit, but there's a misconception of equity crowdfunding because we don't decide where the money goes. So these guys decide where the money goes. They have the check, they have the wallet. You have the wallet as well.
Yeah.
You do the committee, the investment committee, and you say, okay, let's go and let's put 1 million into this company. Let's follow them. Let's push them.
But you need to select who
Yeah,
do you put on
of
the
course.
platform.
Exactly. So we list around 100 companies every quarter on our platform, which means that we are eventually an equity marketplace. We are a marketplace of companies, of startups, a private companies marketplace. We don't do nothing that was not done before. We just give transparency, we give effectiveness, we give technology. Sometimes companies come and they say, okay, I want to use your technology. I will raise the money from these guys, from my family, from these angels, from this investor, but I want to use your technology. So what we do is we check all the companies and we vet all companies that are coming to CrowdU. We make sure that they are looking for money to growth. We make sure they have a valuation set up. But I'm going to come back about the valuation later on because it's a big topic on equity crowdfunding. We make sure how many debt they have, and we put all that information in the platform. It's called the pitch page of every company with a video, with idea, with the team, and we do the due diligence of all that information. So you as an investor, you know that all that information has been reviewed by our compliance team. So at the moment when you go to CrowdCube and you pitch to 500,000 investors, 500,000 users, you're going to get, I don't know, 100 questions from sophisticated investors. And they're going to do an additional due diligence to you. So that's what we tell to entrepreneurs. Okay, we're going to do a first due diligence. We're going to put everything in place. We're going to do all the pitch page, etc. But then when you go to the crowd, to the marketplace, you're going to face retail investors, business angels, venture capital firms, corporate investors, family office, etc. So what we want is to reduce times for companies to raise that money and to help investors to check companies that are vetted and validated from our teams. So that's the main. I think it's good that they know the difference between us and an active investor and a marketplace like that. We work for them actually, and for guys like you. We want to work for guys like you. So that's the main difference I wanted to highlight here.
Okay, trying to respond to the question that you were making before, a company of 15K revenue per month, for us it's great, but
That's great for us.
it's also great early when they have 3-4 months KPIs. So for us, and how to address, for instance, to be a startup, you can address us through the website, through the email, through LinkedIn. We always try to respond to everyone, and if sometimes we haven't done it, it's because it's a miss, but we try to respond to everyone, and we receive more than 1,000 startups per year. Last year was 836, and now we have more than 1,000, and we are in October, so it's going to be 1,000 whatever. And what we want to see for you guys, which for me it's we don't want a 50 pages business plan. We don't have enough time to read 1,000 50 pages business plan. So what we want, it's a deck of 12, 15, 10 slides explaining what you do, which is the team, how amount of money do you want, which is the market, which is the competitive advantage that you have, etc. So it's like 12, 15 pages. Then business plan, but not the business plan as the word of 50 pages, just one Excel with the projection of 3 years. And what have you done till today? So some historic KPIs that you have, the metrics of the last 12, 18 months, or 3 months, it depends on how old is the company. And then what we really look for is for things that can be things done, which is not, for me, it's the hardest thing to find. We are looking for people that are really out of the box, that when you speak with them, you look like the brighten on the eyes, and they transmit that, okay, I'm like here and I want to go rocket up to there. Maybe you will do it or not, but we have to trust you and to think these guys, these teams can make this a huge opportunity in 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever years.
Okay.
So, well, before I go into that, just like to say congratulations to all of you starting your business and in the first year. I think only someone that went through that process really understands how brutal and how demanding it is. So huge respect for you guys. So from our side, if you want to get in contact with us and I want to raise capital through Seeders, it's a simple process. You go online, you go to our website, you answer a few questions, and a business developer from our team will get in touch with you. What we want to see, we want to see a good team. We want to understand that you guys are capable of delivering. We want to see some sign of track record. Of course, the earlier you are, the more difficult it is to provide that track record. But we want to see something. We want to see that you're able to execute and that the market is there, that you're able to kind of deliver on your promises. And we want to see a good strategy to reach out to your communities, to your networks, to potential investors, and kind of raise that money. From our perspective, we also do all the due diligence. We also check all the facts, and we make sure that it is what it says on the tin. But we're not just a marketplace to connect investors with entrepreneurs, because we stay on your cap table and we'll be with you all the way to an exit. And because of that, we want to make sure, and we want, of course, the investors on our platform will decide where to invest, and of course, they will have the ultimate decision power on what gets funded or not. But we also want to make sure that the deal flow that we're providing to them is of enough quality, because we're going to be exposed to that upside as well. So we want to make sure that that's going to be a good investment for our investors as well. So that's basically the process. It's mostly online, but at some point, one of our biz devs guys is going to reach out to you and work with you to really prepare your go-to-market strategy in terms of raising investment and to help you set up for the platform.
So from our side, we kind of develop a mix between the onboarding process of the crowdfunding platforms and the analysis capacity of a traditional VC. So the onboarding process, you see in our website all the requirements, the criteria, what we look for in the company, and so on. Then you will receive probably an email from my side asking about the current status of the product, the traction, customer metrics, and how advanced is the financing round. And then we are starting doing the due diligence. We do the due diligence in the technical side, financial side, and also in the legal side to see the cap table of the company and so on. We spend a lot of time, between 15, 20 hours per company, because we just launched about 3% of the company that applies into our platform, because also we invest in every opportunity that we launch. So we need truly to believe the potential of the company, or the opportunity that we launch, and we invest a small ticket in every opportunity. So it's kind of a mix between the onboarding process of the platforms plus the capacity of the analysis of the venture funds.
Okay. So I guess that question, probably two questions from the audience will be, hey, how do I get relevant? Because you guys receive thousands. How do I get relevant for you? So how do I say, hey, I'm here, please look at me, okay? And then, how fast are you
at saying, yes, we want to fund you, and getting the money in the bank account of the startup. So how do they get relevant for you, and how fast can you go with them?
For us, it's very relevant. It's relevant that there is a lead with us, that someone who recommends us the investment, that maybe there is an investor inside who knows us and he recommends us the project. For us, it's generally a fast lead with the project. It's very uncommon for us to invest in just a LinkedIn contact or something like this. And which was the other one?
And then how fast are you?
We are very slow. We are like Japanese. We are like Japanese. We are very slow, but I think that is what I thought.
But the startups are burning.
Yes, but we are slow. We always try to invest in a 300K round. Maybe they oversubscribe the round with us. And the thing is that we tell them that it's like a marriage, and we can't do it in 24 hours. I say a lot of times that when you started to dating with a girl, you don't get her 20Ks in the first date. Not even during the marriage. So you have to have time till you decide.
Excellent.
So for us, it's very accessible, as Carlos says. So especially when we get an email directly into our Gmail, our biz devs, etc., try to just keep it 2-3 lines, bullet points, just like a VC you would do for a VC, because it makes things much easier and we will move forward very fast. And in the other side we have the platform, the website where you can go and register interest, and then someone from our team will get in touch within less than 24 hours. Then when we start working with a company, we help them preparing the raise, which takes between 20 and 30 days. You have to prepare all the pitch, all the materials, etc. And then the raise, the crowdfunding raise, the campaign, it lasts around 30 days. The average actually is 22 days to get 100% of the money you want. But you can overfund, so you can raise more money, and then you can stay for 30 days or sometimes 45 days. But some companies don't need it. They just get funded in minutes. The company got funded in 96 seconds, £1 million in 96 seconds. So it's about preparation a lot, and then the closing, which is sending the money to the company, takes around 15 days. So you have to take in account between 2 and 3 months from start to having the money in your bank account.
Okay, next. 15 seconds.
So, what do you have for our attention? You have to have a really potential startup, and the times more or less from when we start analyzing the company up to the money it's in the bank, maybe 3 months. But if we have to say no, this can be in 10 days.
Okay.
So I'm going to be really quick because we're running out of time. Our timings are not that different from what Pep described. I think that the main thing is that what takes the most time is for you to fine-tune your strategy of reaching investors. That's where we start to help you on all that. And we've seen that the campaigns that are the most successful are actually the ones that take longer before going live, because they fine-tune that, and when they go live, they have everything set up and it's bang, bang, bang. So take your time in preparing things and really creating that strategy, because it pays off in the end.
Yeah, from our side, quite similar from there. To get to a no, we are very fast. Between 2-3 weeks, we can know if we want to launch the opportunity or not. But at the end, the main struggle is to short the time. When you launch the opportunity, you collect the money from the people, you get the supervisor to accept the operation, and then sending the money to the startup. Minimum 2 months and a half, between 2 months and a half, 4 or 5 months. It's more or less since we know the startup till the money's in the bank.
Excellent. So, hey guys, thanks for coming, and a huge round of applause for everybody.